Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the NUI Galway Postgraduate Open Day. My name is Adrian Larkin, and I'm the Business Innovation Officer here at J. Cairn School of Business and Economics. And I'm really delighted to have you join us today to learn more about management postgraduate opportunities here in our School of Business and Economics. So you might be here for a number of different reasons today. You might be looking to progress your current career path, improve your employment and salary prospects, develop your personal interests, become part of an alumni network, change your direction. And what we're really hoping for today is that you're going to come away from the session inspired to join us for your postgraduate studies. So I'm delighted to be joined here today by our program directors in the discipline of management and by a number of alumni who are going to share their experience of studying with us. So for human resource management, I'm joined by current program director, Dr. Deirdre Curran, and Dr. Fiona Sheridan is also on the line. So I think, Fiona, you're going to be taking over as program director from next September. We've Dr. Rachel Hilliard, the program director for strategy, innovation and people management, and Dr. Denise Holland, the program director for international management. And we're joined by three of our alumni, Oreolua, Aoife and Basant, who are going to share their experiences of studying with us as well. So the format for today, I'm going to give you a very brief introduction to NUI Galway, our School of Business and Economics, and how we give our graduates a competitive edge. I'm then going to hand over to the program directors, who are going to give you an introduction to their courses. Following this, we'll come out of the slide deck and we'll hear from our alumni who have joined us this evening. And finally, we'll open to a Q&A between ourselves and any questions that you might have. So feel free to post any questions that you have in the chat throughout the session. Our teams will be responding in the background, and I'm happy to put questions to our panel at the end as appropriate. So just to introduce our university, so NUI Galway has been inspiring minds since 1845. We're ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world, which really reflects our status as a global university. Over the weekend, we received some very exciting news that NUI Galway has been named the Sunday Times University of the Year 2022. In the feedback that the university received from the review panel, the sense of community was really highlighted, and the spirit of the university, and I've no doubt that that's going to come through in our session this evening. So we're very much a research-led institution. We're based within the heart of a distinct and vibrant region. Galway is renowned for its unique culture, the creative industries, medical technologies, economy and innovation. So really at NUI Galway, what we want to do is we want to build on your passion for learning and encouraging your desire and support your desires to develop as a person and to explore your interests. So here, what we really want to give you the support, knowledge, skills and self-confidence to achieve your goals and reach your full potential. So just to introduce our business school, so Energised by this is our school mission, Energised by our regional edge on the west coast of Ireland, we are a globally engaged school of business and economics for the public good that makes a transformative impact for students, society and business. So this for the public good element really emphasises our dual focus on society and business. So through our teaching, research and public policy impact, we're actively contributing to meaningful and societal change in economics, or in economic, social and natural environmental contexts. And our School of Business and Economics has been awarded many accreditations and accolades, which are really reflective of the global standards of the courses that we're delivering here. So AACSB is the longest serving global accredited body for business schools in the world. Athena's One represents the school's commitment to equality, diversity, inclusion. And all of these accolades and awards really recognise the quality of the offering that we have here at NUI Galway. The inclusive learning environment, our research-led teaching, innovative teaching practices, the global experience that we offer, how we engage with industry, and how we engage with industry. So we want to ensure that you're ready, you're work ready, you're career ready, and you're world ready when you finish your studies with us. So when you're studying in the School of Business and Economics, you're studying in very much a global classroom. We have a very diverse student body with over 40 countries represented. So working with us, studying with us, you're going to get experience working with multicultural teams, which is very representative of the diverse nature of the Irish workplace. You'll have opportunities to be exposed to different cultures, perspectives, and ways of working which will support your development. So Then very briefly, just to mention the application process, and all of the information on the application process is available at nuigalway.ie/apply. So the application process is fully online. We encourage students to apply early. Offers are made on a rolling basis. So the sooner you submit an application, the sooner you'll receive a decision for that application. Here are some of the examples of typical documents that you have to supply. So proof of identity, transcripts, personal statements, and some of our courses do have additional requirements such as a CV. I know for some of our management programs, and our program directors will touch on this, there's also a video requirement as part of the application process, a CV. So our application process is fully online, and if you have any questions at all about the application process, feel free to post those in the chat now. Funding your postgraduate degree is also a very important consideration. At nuigalway.ie/scholarships, there's a huge amount of information with respect to funding your postgraduate studies. So here's just a few examples of some of those opportunities that are available. We have a first class honours scholarship available to EU students who secure first class honours in their level A primary degree. The SUSI grant is available. We offer a number of scholarships across our business programs, so school program level specific scholarships. For students applying from outside of Europe, we offer merit-based scholarships, country-specific scholarships. We also offer school scholarships, and the Government of Ireland offer a number of scholarships also. So there are a lot of funding opportunities that are available to students, and more information is available online. So at this point, I want to move over to our program directors and invite them to share some more information with us about their programs. So I'm going to come to the MSc in Human Resource Management first, and I believe Deirdre, as current program director, you're going to present for us this evening. But for students who are interested to follow up for more information or with any questions, Fiona, who will be assuming the role of program director from next year, will be happy to take those. So thank you very much, Deirdre, if you want to come in there.
Thank you, Adrian, and good evening, everybody. So I'm delighted to be here, and I'm also delighted that I'm joined by two people in particular. One is Dr. Fiona Sheridan, who's going to be taking over as Programme Director for this coming year. So it's great to have Fiona here, and I've been program director now for I think 103 years, so I'm delighted to be handing that mantle over, because it needs a bit of a fresh input. I'm also delighted to be joined by one of our graduates, Oriolua Odoko, who came here during the pandemic. I don't think she knew quite what she was getting herself in for, but she's graduated from the program, and she'll be here to give you the student perspective on the program. So Adrian, do you want to move on there? And I'll, as Adrian was talking there, I was thinking, what would I say are the key unique selling points of this program? And I wrote down a couple of things. So the first is that it's a specialist program. So it's called the MSc in Human Resource Management, and it's for people who know that they want to work in human resource management or a related field. And the human resource management function of the firm is the part of the business that looks after the human resource. And so the whole program is tailored around the different activities that are involved in looking after the human resource. So it's a very specialized master's, and it's for people who are pretty sure that that's the kind of area that they want to work in. Unlike maybe your undergraduate program where you studied a broader degree like business or law or psychology, once you moved into master's level, you can pick the area that suits you specifically. And often actually people do much better in their postgraduate degree than they did in their undergraduate degree, because they're now focused on the area that they really like. Okay. Adrian?
Yeah.
Can you move on, or am I moving on?
No, I'm moving on for here.
Okay, thank you. Great. Okay, so another real benefit of this program is that it's accredited by the CIPD, and the CIPD is the professional body for people who work in human resource management. So it's a coup for us to be accredited by the CIPD, and it's a coup for you if you come to study here, because when you graduate, you'll have a degree from NUI Galway, and you'll also be an associate member of the CIPD. And that may not make much sense to you now, but when you go looking for jobs when you graduate, employers know what that is, they know what it means, and they value it. So it's a benefit of doing the program. Another real benefit is that you will have the opportunity to do a work internship. Now, not everybody on the program will do an internship, and there are actually two paths that you can take if you choose this program. But there is that opportunity to do a work internship, which many people value, and and that will, help your job prospects once you graduate. There's a broad range of subjects and I'll say a little bit more about the subjects that are on the program. But all of them, as I said earlier, are kind of feeding into this aspect of business, which is about managing the human resources. So a lot of what we do is a balancing of both the theory of human resource management and the practical application of it. So as well as looking what the textbooks say in relation to HR, we also look at what does HR look like in reality. And we do that by bringing in professionals from the HR field to share their experience with you, by having applied projects that are very relevant to the application of HR. So it's that balance of theory and practice which leads to a very valuable degree. It's 1 year full time. And what I often say to students when they pick this program, it's very intense. So if you commit to doing it, it's going to be an intense year, but no pain, no gain. If it wasn't intense, it wouldn't be the quality of a degree that it actually is. So by choosing to do the Masters in HR, you're making a big investment, financial, but also in terms of your commitment. But hopefully that commitment, that investment will pay off in the future. Another benefit which I see on the list there, which I'd also written down myself, is the diversity of the class. So we would have people, firstly, it's not a very big class. So the maximum that I would like to see in the class is about 35. And this year we have 34 students. So those students come from our own territory. So they may be NUI Galway undergraduate students who just take that step up into a master's degree. We have people from all over Ireland who've done different degrees who choose to then specialise in HR for postgrad. We have people who've some degree of practical work experience, and then they come back to education to do their masters. And then we have people from all over the world. So that diversity of the class is a huge benefit from my perspective, and the students will learn as much from each other as they will from the team who are inputting into the program. So we absolutely value diversity, and I know from our alumni that people have made friends from all over the world from studying this program. I can say with hand on heart that there is a great team delivering this master's. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. And embarking on a postgrad program is very different from an undergrad program. The relationship between staff and student is much flatter. So I know as program director that I will know the name of everybody in the class in the first couple of weeks, and students are encouraged to interact with their lecturers and to engage with their lecturers on the content that they're learning. So as an undergrad, you may have gone through a whole program without ever speaking to a lecturer. On postgrad, you'll know all of your lecturers, and I think that's a better relationship for both sides. In terms of employment prospects, it differs depending on what's the state of the economy. And actually, you would think that in a pandemic that HR jobs may be less available, but actually the opposite has been true. So a lot of opportunities have come up for HR people during the pandemic and emerging from the pandemic. And you'll see there some of the names of the organizations that some of our graduates are working in. We value our alumni, so we have a very active and vibrant alumni network on LinkedIn. And people who have done the master's program in HR in NUI Galway typically are they have this emotional connection to NUI Galway. And so we try and bring them back as much as possible to share the experience that they've gained since they graduated with our current students. So we involve our alumni a lot, and they always love to come back on campus, and we love to see them coming back. While you are doing the program, we will be encouraging you to network. Now, obviously, this has been impacted by the pandemic, but typically in previous years, there is a local branch of the CIPD in the west of Ireland, and they would hold events every couple of weeks, professional events where HR practitioners would come together over an issue. It could be working from home, it could be recruitment, it could be managing people, it could be anything, but it's all material that's relevant to our students. So we would always have encouraged our students to go to these events and to network with professionals in HR so that they're making those connections before they even graduate. So again, that's a real benefit. Adrian? Okay, so I won't go into this in any great detail. These are the list of modules that you would be studying if you chose it. And if you look at them, you'll see that they're all tailored in some way to the activities that a human resource management practitioner would have to undertake. So employment relations and law, for example, is my specialism, and employment law is a big aspect of what HR people do. This year we have introduced a couple of new modules. So we are constantly trying to improve the program and to adapt the program to the needs of students who are going out into the market. And so we've introduced some new modules, as I said, one of them being sustainable HRM. So this notion of sustainability is a very topical issue. In fact, one of the values of the university is sustainability. And, buildings have to be sustainable, but humans have to be sustainable as well. So we have developed a module called Sustainable HRM. So you'll see from that list that all of the modules are tailored to the kind of work that HR practitioners would undertake. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are two pathways in this program. If people do secure a work internship, then they will spend a portion of the program on that work internship. And while they're working in an organization, they will produce something called an applied management report, which is basically they'll undertake a project in a particular aspect of HR, and they'll conduct that project while they are on their internship. If people choose not to do the internship or can't secure an internship, then they have the option of going the second pathway, which is to undertake a summer school, which has a number of very interesting dimensions to it, like a consultancy project, a negotiation skills course, a project management course. So either way, whatever direction you take, you're building up skills and learning and knowledge that is going to be of value to whatever organization you choose to work in once you have completed the program. So I suppose just in summary, having been the program director for 10 years, I can absolutely stand over this program as a quality program. I have made some really good friends myself from all around the world, from the students who have graduated from this program. A couple of weeks ago, I was at the wedding of a graduate from Brazil who chose to marry an Irishman, and they got married in Kerry. And so I've developed friendships with people who have gone through the program. So it's been very satisfying for me to be involved, and I'm absolutely confident in handing over the program to Dr. Fiona Sheridan. So if you want any more information, we'll be hearing from Oriolu a little later about the student perspective on all of this, and it's always good to hear from students how they experience the program rather than hearing from members of staff. But if you do want any more information, then I know Fiona would welcome your contact at fiona.sheridan@nuigalway.ie. It's such a delight to hand over that to somebody else. So I think that's all I had intended to say. I don't know if Fiona wants to say anything before Adrian moves on to the next program.
Thanks a million, Deirdre. No, I certainly have nothing to. There was nothing that you didn't cover, and you covered it all so well. And thanks a million for that. No, just to reiterate what you said. For any queries that anybody has, certainly feel free to contact me, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a million. Thanks so much, Deirdre. Thank you.
Thanks, Deirdre. Thanks, Fiona. And just to say a particular thanks, Deirdre, for all of your efforts as program director over the years. You brought such a spirit to the program. You've always had the best interest of all of your students underpinning everything that you've done. And I know you're a lecturer that all of the students that you've had will continue to remember fondly. It's very retiring the way I'm going there, Deirdre. You're not going too far, but it's just to say thank you for all of the work you've done as program director over the years, and it's been really valued and appreciated. So thank you. So moving on then to our next program, we'll look at the MSc Strategy, Innovation and People Management program. So I know, Rachel, you're currently serving as program director for this program, so I'd invite you to come in at this point.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Yeah, my name is Rachel Hilliard, and I've just taken over as program director from Mike Moroney. So this program has been running for, this is our 20th class, the current class that we have with us. So it's been running since 2002, which means that we have a great set of alumni who remain very close to the program, and as Deirdre mentioned, retain a great affection for their time at NUI Galway and their time with us in the business school. And we're still very close to those people, and they still come back and give guest lectures to the program. They often recruit from the program because they know the quality of what we're doing with people and the quality of people who take the program. So how does our program, perhaps you're thinking about management, but thinking about which program? So the Strategy, Innovation and People Management program, I suppose, is characterized, its distinguishing characteristic is its broad base. So if you come into this program, you're going to be looking at what we identified as the 3 core elements, I suppose, to be an effective manager and leader within a company: to have an understanding of strategy, to look at the organizational level and where the organization needs to go, to look at innovation, which is an imperative for any organization nowadays. There's, I think, no industry that is immune from being out innovated by an upstart. So we look at innovation. We look at innovation from the perspective of existing companies who need to develop innovative capacity, and also from the perspective of startups. We're very lucky here in Galway. Galway is a hotspot within Ireland and within Europe for entrepreneurial startups, particularly related to the medical technology cluster that's based in Galway. And we have very good links with medical technology companies, both the multinational pharmas and the startup companies. And so our program reflects and draws on our hinterland here in Galway, and we're able to learn a lot from local companies and local entrepreneurs who are always delighted to come in and meet students and talk about what they do. And then the final part of the puzzle is people management, because everything you achieve in an organization, you achieve through people. And an organization's strength really is its organizational culture. So we also look at the people management aspects of an organization. So it's the people management component of the program that allows us to offer CIPD accreditation at an advanced level. And we're, I think, unique in being a kind of broad-based program that also contains CIPD accreditation. And CIPD accreditation is very well recognized within industry, so employers really understand what that means. It's extremely difficult to achieve CIPD accreditation outside of a postgraduate program. So in the workplace, people who don't have CIPD accreditation would find it quite difficult to achieve. So it becomes a really competitive edge when you're looking for jobs, I think, to have that. So a strength of our program, I suppose, is that it's been, the quality of our program has been recognized in business awards, in the Postgraduate Business Program of the Year. It's been shortlisted 3 times, and we're very proud of that. What are the other benefits of this program? One of the strengths of this program is the diversity of people who take it. And this year we've had, I think we have 10 different nationalities in the class. And not only that, we have a mix of people's backgrounds and people's experiences. So when you're doing, so at undergraduate level, if you're in extremely large classes, that might not make any difference having a diverse class. But for us, it becomes a key part of the benefit of your experience, right? We have small class sizes. The aim is around 30 students. And that means that we have a lot of discussion in class. That means we do a lot of group work. So you'll be working with your 30 class members in different groups across the year. So if you think about then going out into the workplace, teamwork is the defining characteristic of the workplace, most work is achieved through teams. And teamwork is extremely powerful, but it's also challenging. So what you will bring with you when you leave this program is an experience of teamwork that you can speak about, and an experience of making a diverse team work. And the value of diversity is in the diversity of ideas that are generated, the diversity of approaches, the diversity of the discussion, and then also managing the tensions that diversity can bring. What is it like to work with people who are very different to you, who see things differently to you? So to have worked through all of that and have picked up those skills and to be able to discuss that with a potential employer is a really powerful thing. And it's something we emphasize across all of our modules. I think I'm probably ready for the next slide, Adrian. Yeah, so I've already discussed CIPD accreditation, and I've discussed how important that is. So then if we look at just to take you through what the program is like, the program starts with the three pillars that the program is built on. So it starts with a grounding in strategic management, a grounding in HRM in practice, and an introduction to innovation and entrepreneurship, and practicing being innovative and practicing what it's like to develop an entrepreneurial idea. The other part that we have that sets you up for success are 2 skills-based modules. So business and professional development skills prepares you for the workplace. So it takes you through the skills that you need to be a successful manager in the workplace and to manage yourself. And these skills are really helpful to you in also managing yourself as you go through this program. And the second way we set you up for success at the start is we have a module in critical thinking and analytical skills. So moving from undergraduate to postgraduate is a jump in the level of thinking that we expect from you. And the level of thinking that we expect from you is the level of thinking that's going to help you in the workplace. And that is the ability to absorb new ideas, to be able to summarize and identify what's important about those ideas, to evaluate those ideas, that you don't just take them at face value, but you really think about what is the credibility of this idea. And in the world that we live in, with so many sources of information, these kind of analytical skills become really important. So that's something that you'll do at the start of the program. Then you'll take the core strategy, HRM and innovation modules. And after you have that foundation, you'll go on then to look in a more specialist way at things like how do we lead change and transform businesses. And this is a module that was suggested to us by our industry partners, who thought that this would be a very important skill for our graduates. How does global business affect the way that HR works? Most people are going to end up working in a business that has a global aspect to it. Increasingly, what is the role of business and the social contract with society, and how do we manage that? And finally, how do we analyze, in a world of big data, how do we analyze all the information that's coming into an organization? And then you'll have a choice of pathway. So the majority of our students will take an internship, so they'll secure a position with a company in Ireland. And last year, even though COVID was very challenging, 80% of our students who wanted an internship went on one. And we have a placement officer who work really hard with you to prepare you for the internship and to prepare you for the workplace. And students really benefit from that. So from the very start of the program, you'll be working on developing your CV, developing your interview skills, learning how to do effective job search. And all of those things are a real benefit to you as you use this year to springboard into your career. And then students who don't go on an internship take a summer school. And that is a consultancy project to be working on a live company issue and developing solutions for that company in a very applied way. And then there'll be some optional courses. So you'll be looking at project management, and then the opportunity to specialize perhaps in international HRM, international supply chain management, or business negotiations. So as you can see, it's a really interesting set of subjects that'll really upskill you and prepare you for the global workplace. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Rachel, for that. Really informative. The pillars of enterprise success, like the whole picture piece, very interesting. And obviously, I think that point of CIPD accreditation outside of a traditional human resource management program is obviously a very unique selling point as well for the program. In addition to all of the new modules you've outlined there and the opportunities around summer schools and placements. So thank you so much for that, Rachel. Appreciate it. Moving on next, then we'll be moving on to the MSc in International Management. So Denise, if you'd like to come in at this point to tell us a bit more about this program.
Okay. Hi everybody. It's nice to meet you virtually. So this is my second year as Programme Director of the Masters in International Management. And unlike the other two programs, this program attracts a very broad, diverse range of nationalities and disciplines. And just to give you a sample, we attract software engineers, psychologists, people from corporate law, those who come up through languages and the arts, the traditional business backgrounds. And we've had a few years where we've had radiographers and people from the fashion industry. So it's really, really broad. And a lot of prospective students ask me, well, do we need a grounding in business? And you don't really, because within the first 3 to 4 weeks, it's kind of everybody is starting from scratch, and then, you know, you grow within that field. So you do not need a background in business. So you get exposure over the year to a range of contemporary topics. And I'm very excited this year, and I'll share this at the end, whereby we're revamping and updating the Masters to make it more customized to where a particular student would like to take their career. And again, with both the CIPM and the HRM Masters, we develop strong networks through our alumni group in LinkedIn. Now, we have just under 300 members, and I find that past alumni contact me to see, you know, are there any people who'd like a job in industry or in consulting, which leads me on to the type of roles and companies that people are employed in. Well, it's a very high employability rate. Now, I'm talking pre-COVID. I don't have figures for the COVID year. And they work in places like the top banks, Citibank, investment banks, the top 4 consulting firms, the big multinationals, both medical device and the IT and software. We've had a couple move into the public sector and actually transverse into HR through another door. And we've had a couple who went the property development route, but on an international scale. So it's, as I said, from a very broad background of nationalities and disciplines, but they then equally go into a broad range of employment and career paths after the Masters. 2 of the highlights of the programme, in my view, is the first is the seminar week in Toulouse. Unfortunately, we had to do this remotely last year, but everything's booked and ready for next year and for the following year. And the focus and the theme for the next academic year is going to continue with international supply chain. So that's quite interesting and will be cutting edge. And then the other highlight for me is the Capstone Consulting Project, because what we do is we prepare the students of IM for the world of work. It's a very good springboard. So when they start their careers in whatever company or sector, that they're actually able to hit the ground running in terms of teamwork. They will have cut their teeth on, you know, intercultural and cross-cultural problems, on team-based applied type problems during the year. And again, the feedback during the year is, oh, not more teamwork, not more group work. But it's when they go out to the world of work, I'm getting positive feedback to say, thank you. This is what we really needed to know before we started work. And part of the Capstone Consulting Project includes the team self-selecting, identifying a public company that they would like to focus on, and then within the context of that public company, they identify a real live problem that's derived from an annual report, so that it's all factual and applied based. And then they set about researching on the particular topic they've identified. And then they head off and identify people who are subject matter experts or senior management within those organizations. And they interview them on the topic and then combine what they've learned from the literature and the review of best practice to what they have gleaned and what's emerged from their data in terms of interviewing, and then they make recommendations. So it's a lovely mix of skill sets. And ultimately, we've had organisations who've had copies of the final report and are actually quite impressed and have made job offers on that basis. Now, this was prior to COVID. Adrian, would you mind moving on to the next slide, please? So this is the aspect that I'm really excited about. It's a one-year full-time talk programme where you actually complete 90 ECTs. So what we've done is we've 75 of those ECTs are core, and every core subject has an international dimension, which helps develop global mindsets of the students. So we have global strategy, global marketing, international leadership and practice, which is very much an applied based on international company-based problems with Magella, Dr. Magella Gibbon. And we've introduced critical thinking and analytical skills this year. So in semester one, you do between, or you complete between 25 and 30 ECTs with corporate finance as an option. Then in semester two, between weeks 1 and 8, and a lot of the optional subjects are co-taught with other masters. The only core subject in semester two in the first 8 weeks is international entrepreneurship, which is 10 ECTs. And then you can select from the options of business and society, digital business and people analytics, leading change and business transformation, and negotiation. So then in the 9th to 12th week of semester two, plus the summer months right up to the end of July, you have to do 4 core subjects: the consulting project, which I just spoke about, the international trip to Toulouse, international supply chain, and international human resource management. So you're getting a global perspective on every aspect of what's required to manage, run, or grow a business. And one option that's available in weeks 9 to 12 is that of project management. So just to confirm, the 75 ECTs that are core, and the balance then are options. So Adrian, if you'd like to move on. So I've really talked about this in the other 2 slides. You know, sometimes I'm gobsmacked to see how well developed our students become within that year. You know, first semester is intense, it's stressful, it's like an academic marathon in a very short period of time. So you're grappling with new subjects, but they're interesting and they're applicable to the real world of work. You're grappling with working with teams, with people you've never met, but out of that you develop lifelong friendships, most importantly networks, which all add value to your development in your career when you complete the Masters. And you become highly employable. And I'm sure that Basant, when we're talking, that you can share with us, you know, what aspects were most applicable to you out in the world of work and your role in Penn Engineering. You know, you will also learn that there's a range of tools that you think are academic, but when you actually get out into the world of work, you'll see that PESTEL, the diamond model, SWOT analysis, the TOES, all of these are actually used in the world of business, and not just regionally within the west of Ireland, but globally with companies who have international reach. I don't have much more to add. I may ad lib as Basant is talking, and I'm available through email, or if anybody wants to set up a Zoom chat with me over the next couple of weeks, I'm absolutely open to that to prospective students. So thank you.
Thanks, Denise. Thanks very much for the insights for the MSc in International Management. They were brilliant, and yeah, I think it's time now to bring in the students and to get those insights as well. So I might come to you first, Lua, if that's okay, around the Human Resource Management program. So if you just want to introduce yourself and tell us about your experiences of the program, that'd be brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Adrian. Just from listening to these slides, I feel like I should reapply and do the Masters again, because there's just so much that is being improved on, and it's really great to see. And even from my own experience, you know, it was such a good time, and really anyone would be really lucky to apply for either of the 3 courses. So I'm Orolua Oduko, and I'm from Nigeria. I did the Master's in Human Resources Management, and right now I'm working in Boston Scientific as the HR co-op, and I support HR business partners in charge of production. It's a very, very interesting role. I tend to do a little bit of everything: employee relations, data management, and all of that. So, first things first, why did I choose the HRM Masters? So I, and actually, I just saw a question in the chat. Someone was asking about law. So my background is actually in law. I'm qualified as a lawyer and I was practicing as a lawyer. But then I decided I think I want to do something else, and I really liked employment law and I liked a bit of management and recruitment. So I was like, okay, maybe I should do the HR Masters and see what comes out of it. And to be honest, I do not regret it at all. It's literally the best decision I've ever made. And in terms of choosing the school, so I applied to quite a number of schools and I got into most of them. But then just reading, the profiles of the lecturers in NUIG, I was just blown away. I was like, there's no way I'm going to pass up this opportunity to learn from them. And getting to even meet them in person and seeing, how they teach, how they even interact with us. And I joke sometimes, I say that Deirdre and Maureen, they're my mothers now, because it's just been such a great experience, even outside the class, just that support, that, being there for us personally in terms of school, even your work. Like Deirdre's always checking up on me. How are you getting on? So it's been an all-around great experience for me, which I really, really liked. Another thing really was the practice-based learning. So most times in, some schools, you just get thrown with all the theory and then you don't get the opportunity to practice. But like during the masters, we had so many projects, which some of us were crying sometimes because it seemed like a lot. But in the end, it was totally worth it. Denise took us through Tableau, I remember, and everyone was just like, what the hell is going on? But I kid you not, I have here on my second screen, I'm working with Tableau. That's all I do now in the office. So it's such, like, just even getting the opportunity to learn it first in school and then meeting it in the workplace is really, really good. So if I would advise anyone on the call that's, thinking about it, if you do apply and you do start the masters, whatever it is that you're taught, take advantage of it. It might seem tough, it might seem boring, it might seem like, oh, I don't need this, but trust me, in the end, it's going to be really, really worth it. What else? That's just really it. The internship option also, like, it's a very good way to get your foot in the door, especially for someone like me that I was transitioning from one career to the other, and it just set me right. And my project, I'm not very good at research. I do not like research. When I realized we had to do a research project, I was just like, oh God, not again. But interacting with my supervisor, even picking the topic, picking my organization, this is what I want to work on, and actually doing the work, it was so rewarding. It was so fulfilling. I was like, oh my God, this was such a great experience. And even the traction, like I'd have conversations with people in the office that, oh, these were the results from my project. And I don't mean my actual results, I mean like the findings from my research. And it's actually being implemented. Some of my suggestions are being implemented now, which is so great because it's like a plus for me. It's me looking back now and like, okay, definitely this was a good choice. This was a good decision that I made. So all in all, it was a great experience. We were online, throughout, but that connection, that support was still there, even from my classmates now. And it wasn't even just the HRM class, it was the IM and the SIPM. Sometimes I wouldn't know who was doing what because we're all just working together. It was just such a nice, great connection. Like Basant and I would even meet once in a while. And it was just a really nice experience for all of us, the international students, the local students, every single person. It was just a nice time getting to interact with them, both for college work and, having a pint or two outside. So yeah, that's it for me. So thanks so much for the opportunity to speak with you. Good evening.
Thank you. You've given us such valuable insights there, just around the nature of the programs, but the applied features, I think, which are really important, the relevancy of what you're doing, the skills that you're developing, and the relationships that you're building, and how they're beneficial as well. And no, that was a really, really good insight into the program, Aurelia. So thank you very much for that.
Adrian, can I just say that Aurelia is a perfect example of how good our recruitment processes are, because we were darn lucky to get her.
Absolutely. Definitely a great role model for prospective students who are looking to apply to the program. And I'm sure, Basant, I'm going to come to you next. I have no doubts you're going to continue to inspire us this evening. So, Basant, if you'd like to come on there and just to introduce yourself and to tell us a small bit about your experience of studying with us.
Sure. First of all, thanks everyone for inviting me on this opportunity, and it's good to see so many professors all at the same time after a long time. So adding to Oreo's point, that if you will see all these three courses are different in what they taught us, but we were in fact interconnected with each other. We had projects with HRM, we had project with CPAM and all. So we got to learn a lot from all other courses as well. Especially my course, it is, I would say, as Denise showed in the first slide, that it has very broad spectrum. It covers almost most international subject, as it name suggests, international management. So it is covering international corporate finance, business and people analytics, in which we learn Tableau. And you won't believe, I am not using Tableau, but a tool similar to Tableau, ClickSense, which is used for business analysis and visualization. That is what I am using as of now, half of the time. Apart from that, there are many other things like business research skill and business and professional development skill, which were really necessary in this era of remote working, I would say. And it gave us a different perspective of work. So now I would like to introduce myself. I am Basant Kumar, and I did my bachelor's in computer science engineering, and I was working as a software developer back in India for 4 years. I had worked on SAP ABAP. ABAP is application, advanced business application programming language. So I was into core, kind of programmer or doing all those development stuff, and I wanted, for a change, I wanted to dive into some other aspect of career. So I was looking for a course which could give me a glimpse of everything, all the management aspect, where I could test myself. And during my learning process, which one of them I could choose out of all those courses, all those subjects which will be taught to me. So when I saw the course structure of international management, it really struck me, and I chose that courses. And as Oreo also said, that the professors, their profile were really very attractive, which attracted me towards this course. And I would say one more thing, in the last semester you will get a chance either to go for a visit to I guess this time it is also Toulouse Business School, right, Dennis? Yeah.
Mhm.
Either for a planned visit, or you will get to do an applied management report or an internship. All these three have their own pros and cons, I would say. Pros mainly because it depends on your interest, what you want to. As an international student, I would say internship was very advantageous for us, because it will let you pick up a career, and it will push you a step ahead, which you need being an international student. So my experience was really good, though we were pandemic match. We could not get so much of university experience, but the team building and all the group projects were so intensive that we were kind of we didn't felt that we are away from each other, I would say, because this is the new, I would say, new normal now, being working remotely and all those stuff. So it was overall a good experience, and I would like to, if anyone had any questions regarding this course, I would be happy to answer any doubt.
Yeah.
Or
fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Denise, would you like to come in there? You're on mute there, Denise. Sorry. The catchphrase of the last 2 years.
Apologies. Basant is a great representative of what I believe was probably one of the best IM classes we've had. And I have to give testament to the resilience. They were motivated. They worked in very difficult circumstances, and really came out the other end, battered and bruised, but the better for it. And they've yet to graduate because of the cyber attack. So we'll have a hell of a party, Basant, when you actually do next April. But something, moving on from that, something very important that I need to share is the IM program is no longer going to be including an internship. We're investing more resources on the international program in terms of the partnership with Toulouse. And beyond 2023, we're looking to go towards the West, towards the United States. We can't say anything about that yet because we're in negotiations, but that's what we're doing. We're investing resources outward rather than within an internship program for the few.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Sounds more
Basant.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And Basant, just to give you an opportunity to tell people about the role that you're in at the minute.
Okay, yeah. I guess I missed that. So currently I am sitting in my office, and I was working on that. So my role is actually I was in operational excellence team as an intern over here, and I used to look into Lean Six Sigma project, which is to improvise the production and all those facility in any manufacturing firm. But I transitioned myself from that role to in a business analyst role, and I provide visualization and analysis report for sales team. My company, Pen Engineering, is leading fastener manufacturing company over here. So they are producing fasteners, and they sell to literally, you name it, all the company. For example, Medtronics, and for example, Boeing, BMW, even Tesla. So they have broad customer range. So we get a lot of data from them. So my duty is to analyze all those data and show the company where we are lacking, what we should do, prepare strategies, and all those stuff. So it is core business analyst role.
Yeah, it sounds very exciting and very dynamic.
Yeah,
so congratulations, and yeah, well done on that. So Basant, thank you very much for sharing those insights. Aoife, I'm going to come to you next, last but certainly not least. If you want to tell us about your experiences if you want to introduce yourself and just tell us about your experience of your program as well.
Yeah, of course. I feel like I'm going to be reiterating a lot of the things that Basant and Ori said already. But I'm Aoife. I've just completed the Master's in Strategy, Innovation and People Management. Prior to this, I did my undergrad in the University of Limerick in French and Psychology. And I can say I had absolutely no business knowledge coming into this course. I was actually very apprehensive about it because I quit business in first year in school, so I really had no understanding and was like just really scared. But in the first semester, we did innovation and strategy. So you're completely thrown in the deep end. You just have to learn, but the resources are there for you to learn. So we're getting like the readings every week and everything. So I was just using those as a basis to learn as I was going. But then of course, like I had my lectures and fantastic class reps and classmates that we had a WhatsApp group chat. So any questions or anything like that, we were able to all help each other out. The fact that it was a lot of group work as well. I think the second semester for my course in last year anyways was all group work. So it was really, really stressful at the time, but now I am in the world work. I can completely understand why that was the way it was done. Now I am a supply chain integration associate in Wayfair. And I got this job through the internship in NUI or through this master's. So when I was first looking at what master's I wanted to do, there is actually one that was really similar to this in the University of Limerick that would have been really easy for me to just kind of continue going in the same university for the 5 years. But that one didn't have an internship. So that's why I got pulled towards NUIG, and I'm so delighted I did. So I did my internship and then got kept on afterwards, and like I really, really like my job. So I'm obviously, supply chain integration associate, which I never ever thought I would have been, but here I am. And possible career progressions from this role right now is I can like go into management, or I can go into being an analyst, which is, again, something I never ever thought I would have been able to do. After Denise last year, we were doing Tableau. I know it's been talked about already, but like, we were all pulling our hair out, staring at the screen, trying to get it done. But like, that is the way I do be doing my work now with my team. We're, you know, trying to figure out any issues or the best way forward. And like, I'm really, really happy that I had that experience from my master's. I really like could not recommend doing this master's more. Like, pushes you out of your comfort zone. Well, for me, definitely anyways, because there's a lot of like, we did people analytics, which was an option, but like, I'd never done it before, and the support was really there. There was forums made so we could ask any questions, and it was like students and the lecturers responding to us, so we had a lot of support. Yeah, I would just say, if you're considering doing this, like, just try and go outside of your comfort zone, and this is really the best place that you could do that.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant, Aoife. Thank you so much for that. That was really valuable insights again. And, you know, I'm really, you know, picking up on, you know, recurrent themes here of like that, just that last message you had around the push and being pushed outside your comfort zone. And there is that expression, the greatest accomplishments will always be found outside of your comfort zone. So I you know, I think that push, and again, you spoke there about the applied nature of the program and how the skills and the platforms you were using as part of the program, how that's carried over to your career. It was fantastic and really echoes the comments from our alumni on the panel. Unfortunately, we're coming up very close to the hour, so I'm going to have to pull the session to a close. I don't know if anyone on the panel has any final words or guidance or thoughts that they'd like to share before we finish. And there's no problem at all if you don't. I know we've spoken quite comprehensively there. If you do, feel free to put up your hand at this point and to share. But no, you've given us such rich and valuable insights already this evening. Yeah, perfect. I think we're good there. So I just want to say a few thanks. So I want to say thank you to all of the program directors who joined us tonight. Thank you to all of our alumni. I love doing these events. It's so encouraging to see how well all of the students are doing when they finish, and just to hear your stories. I think it inspires all of the staff in the school with what we're doing as well. Just to say thank you to all of the students who joined us on the session this evening as well. This could be you here in the next year or two, sharing your insights, finding yourselves in careers that you never anticipated that you would, but with lots of great progression opportunities in front of you. And just to say, you know, one of the core values of the university is openness, and we're open here, and we're here to support you on your journey to studying with us. So please do feel free to reach out to us at any point with any questions that you have, and we'd be delighted to assist. So thank you to everyone for joining, and take care, and we'll talk soon.